Good afternoon. Today, or tonight, I guess, we're going to be doing a review of the 2021 Mid-Year Voluntary Benefit Open Enrollment. You may have heard about or received an email about. This is Rob Fulton. I'm part of the WORKTERRA team, and we'd like to do a nice review of all the voluntary benefit programs that are available through WORKTERRA as employees for the City and County of San Francisco. All of the information that I'm going to go over today is available and will be available on the San Francisco Health Services website. And I'm going to have that up on the screen here in just a second. So we're going to review all the programs, talk several times about how to enroll and where to go. The open enrollment begins on July 6th, a week from tomorrow, and lasts until July 16th. All of the WORKTERRA programs include some discount for being offered through the city and county. There are group programs available to city employees, county employees only. Many of the insurance plans available on a guarantee issue basis, meaning unlike individual plans, there are no health questions. Some of the programs, most of the programs, in fact, are available through payroll deduction through WORKTERRA. And summer, during this open enrollment, we will be introducing a couple of new plans, one of which isn't completely finalized, but it will be available during an open enrollment. And of course, all of these programs will also become available during the city and county's open enrollment for all benefits in the fall and October. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go into presentation mode. So we have a nice presentation to look at. And I'm going to pause just for a second and admit someone else in here, so bear with me. Okay, we're back. I apologize for that, but I may do that once or twice more as we get some listeners and allow them back in. But as I mentioned, several new programs we want to talk about, doing a review of the existing programs, and then talk about how to enroll during the enrollment period, who to call, where you can get more information, have a one-on-one discussion, or just go straight online to enroll. This is, I may be familiar with, SFHSS, healthservicessystem.org. And there is a voluntary benefit page that when you click on, when you go to this website, and again, you may know this already, but you go to this website, and then you go to your work group or your organization, city and county employee, for example, and then you'll come to your page of benefits, and there'll be a place where you can check on voluntary benefits and all of this information. Some of it just now being updated for some new programs will all be on there. Once the enrollment period starts, which again is July 6th, so it's a week from tomorrow after the holiday, you'll be able to call the 866 toll-free number for questions, for enrollment, to schedule a time to talk with someone for an individual session at your leisure. Or you can go directly to vboe.com, which is what we also used last year. And that's a scheduling site where you can schedule a time to really walk through some of the benefits, ask personal questions, get all the rates, and just make sure you have a good understanding of how everything works. If you gather some information from the site, from the SFHSS site, and you want to go in and enroll in something because you kind of know what you want, then there's the WORKTERRA page, which you might be familiar with if you've had these programs, and that's workterra.net. When you're on that page, you use your employee username, your 6-digit DSW number. If it's a 5-digit number, you can add a 0 in front. And then the password is the first 4 letters of your last name. Also names with your last, problem there, and the first 4 of your social security number. and the company name or the code is CCS. So one of the things, probably the easiest and most simple voluntary benefit made available through the WORKTERRA group is additional group term life insurance from the Hartford. It has not changed. And this is a group plan, but of course, death benefit is paid directly to your named beneficiary in a lump sum, which is normal for life insurance. There is some evidence of insurability required, and the premiums are based on your age. And they do go up every year. So just like term life insurance, it's a temporary coverage. Tends to be pretty inexpensive when you're young and gets pretty expensive as you get older. But it's a great way of temporary extra life insurance when you need it. And the rates are all on that page that I mentioned before. You can also, when the enrollment period begins next week, talk to one of the benefit advocates at the WORKTERRA team, and they can go directly into your age and your coverage amount and show you exactly what the pay period cost would be. And you can include family members. It's a good way to have, again, short-term, inexpensive additional life insurance. The other program that's changed only from the standpoint that we changed the carrier, the insurance company, this year, but most of the benefits are very, very much the same. Not a lot of change there, and that's the short-term disability plan. And that plan is designed as a supplement to an off-the-job disability that you might experience, and it supplements the state disability income plan, which you may be familiar with. You pay into it. It's a little bit like Social Security disability, only it's the short-term part of the government program and the state program. So this supplements that and pays on top of that, because the SDI plan through the state only pays up to, I think, 65%. It maxes out of your income. So this is a way to kind of fill that gap. Most people, if they do have a disability, probably need extra money rather than less than what they normally have. So this is some, and this information is also on the website, as I mentioned. All of this is, and these are just some facts, kind of talking a little bit about the need for disability, for short-term disability, and then a lot of financial issues people have are from mortgage foreclosures, bankruptcy, that type of thing. And a lot of times they're a consequence of a disability, and disability is just one of those no good things. But to protect your income is really the important thing. And it is one thing that you can insure, you can protect yourself against. And this is a good way to do it. As I mentioned, this is a supplement because the state provides a good base, a good plan. But this supplements that and pays on top of that. The definition of disability down at the bottom of this page talks a little bit about what does it mean if I'm disabled? Does it mean I'm, have a broken arm and I can't work today, but maybe I can tomorrow? Well, maybe not. Really, what a total disability is, it means that due to that injury or that disease, you cannot perform the substantial material acts, like you can things of your job, and that's what this is designed for. Not for being, if you do have a disability and you really can't do the majority that you need to do in your job, that's where the definite disability comes into play, and that's where you will get this benefit, and that's what it's going to be provided for you. As I mentioned, it's nice, and there's two plans. For most people, there's a 6-month coverage, and what that means is that due to an accident or sickness, there's a 7-day elimination period. Which means if you're back to work with as long as for 6 months, and it's designed that way to complement SDI. But then also social disability, 6 months, probably going to be a long time, potentially even a permanent disability. Group, it's a little different because there's a program that starts after 3 months for that group. And the elimination period is a little longer. It's 14 days for accident or sickness. That's a little change from the existing plan. If you have the existing plan and you're part of MEA, you will continue with the 0-14 that we've had, which coverage stays the same. There is a new carrier involved. Manhattan Life replaced Kansas City Life, but the rates and the benefits stay exactly the way they were for you. So, as a matter of fact, your coverage probably was rounded up, and so you might have that. Nothing but good news. If you had the old plan, there's no change to worry about. But going forward, these are the new benefits. Those are the new plans. And so you choose. You don't have to do a whole 30%. You can choose 100 a month, 500 a month, whatever meets your needs. The benefits are non-taxable because you're paying for them with after-tax dollars. So it's non-taxable benefits. It goes to you directly. There is a pre-existing condition limitation. It's important to point out. It's a 12 pre-existing condition, meaning that for the first 12 months, any go back 12 months that you had as a sickness or a disease, something, the issue age, which the rates are quoted at, the premium is based on your issue age, and that remains level. So even though you get older, like a typical group program, kind of like the Hartford Term Life, you get older, the rates go up. And once you start it, those rates don't go up. So that's a good thing. And it does say 24-hour coverage. I apologize. You have workers' compensation for on the job, so it's off the job coverage, and we'll have that corrected in the materials. Pregnancy, years and years ago, that was changed as a required change in any plan, that it's treated just as any other illness. So most of the time, you're going to be off work for a while when you have a baby and so anything else. So that's just kind of a review. The one little caveat is that, again, the SDI plan pays up to about 65% of your income. This will limit you to 30%. So you shouldn't exceed 100% of your pre-disability, just to make sure that you understand that that's how it's designed and that's how it works. Here's the MEA program. Again, it's the 2-week or 14-14 elimination, pays for 3 months. I use an example there. If you're age 45 and qualified for $1,500 a month benefit, that's going to be about $28 a month. Again, that's just a 3-month benefit. Everyone else has the 6-month benefit, and it starts sooner. To give you an idea there, if you're 35 and you had $1,000 a month, it'd be about $32 a month. It's the benefit starts sooner, it lasts longer, and so that's why it's priced a little higher. All those rates, again, website, it's a number of times. You can call, you can go online, you can schedule a session. Everything will start next Tuesday on July 6th. Let's talk a little about the MetLife benefits, which were introduced last year. They replaced very similar benefits that Voya was providing. However, they significantly enhanced the critical illness insurance and the accident insurance through WORKTERRA, and they added a lot more benefits. And so this hasn't changed. This is the same as it was last year, but to review it, the plans are guarantee issue, no questions asked whatsoever, which is great. And there's no pre-existing condition exclusion whatsoever. So it doesn't matter if you have an issue as far as qualifying for these two plans. The other plan paid directly to you does not integrate with your other benefits. Any difference if you're in the managed care plan, the HMO, or the PPO, or it doesn't really matter at all. If you have an accident, you have a sickness, a hospitalization, doesn't really matter what those benefits are paying. This is paid directly to you outside of that, and the claims are paid pretty fast, they're quick. And lastly, which is great about these plans, you can take them with you if you change jobs, if you leave the city or county, or if you retire. It's true portability. And that's really nice because these are great supplemental plans, and we'll get into them now. But being able to take them with you is a really nice benefit. The critical illness, to give you an overview, there's over 40 covered conditions, but we list a few here, some of the major ones. And these are major health issues that you might have: cancer, heart attack, stroke, you go into a coma, you have paralysis to this last year, which is becoming more and more common. Kidney failure, severe burns, that type of thing. These are very serious things that could happen. And the way this plan works is you pick an amount, 10,000, 20,000, whatever that amount is, you pick, and it will pay that lump sum upon diagnosis. So it's pretty simple benefit. The idea here is, unlike your medical insurance, where there's lots of different benefits, you go to specialists, you get your EOBs, and you have to coordinate a lot of different things. This is really much simpler. If you have a diagnosis of a stroke, you're going to get your benefit. And it's really that stroke. There's it has to be severe. There's a very mild stroke you could get, and so it talks about that. But for the most part, any of these things, you would experience them, and you receive the benefit. That's the idea. There's some infectious diseases that was new last year because of COVID. Childhood diseases like cerebral palsy, if you've covered your children. So that's a sampling of it. And there's, like I mentioned, over 40 covered conditions. And again, these are paid directly to you too. And it's a great benefit. So last year, just what changed and what was new from the old plan was that we added all these other benefits, like the Alzheimer's, as I mentioned, the COVID-19, cystic fibrosis, severe burns, brain tumor, ALS, a lot of different things. So it's a very comprehensive plan. And my favorite part about this plan that was new from years prior is it has a health screening benefit or a wellness benefit of $100 per participant. What that means is that if you have a wellness screening, and I'll show you a list here on the next slide, you will get $100, and that's annually. So and that's per participant. So a family of 4 could receive $400 back if everybody had some kind of a health screening. So we also increased the amount of coverage available up to $50,000. There's no reduction in the benefit as you get older, and you can receive multiple payouts, and I'll explain that again. A slide coming. And then lastly, $200 mammogram benefit, and that's mandatory in California, which is a great benefit. So the point is that the wellness benefit is paid if you have a screening, regardless of if you had to pay for it or not. So you have a routine wellness exam. You could get a blood test to test for cholesterol, get a colonoscopy, have an EKG for something, or a mammogram, or as we mentioned, a COVID-19 test. So you can have these various tests, and they're wellness screenings. And regardless of if it's a no-cost test or a wellness test that's paid for, that's provided through some other benefit or through the benefit plan they like to do, and you submit a claim and you get $100. So it can add up. It can really help lower the cost of this plan. If you have any kind of family history or health history of major illnesses, this is a really good plan to look at for as well. So make sure if you go in online, you look at the rates, or if you schedule a session with the benefit advocate or call, make sure and ask them about this plan and get an idea of the cost, and then just a confirmation of how much that wellness could really lower that cost, because you'd want to be getting an exam anyway. So good benefit there, really helps towards the cost. I mentioned that there's more than one payout available, and this is kind of almost kind of a sad thing to talk about. If someone had more than one major illness. But I think the example that they give here is not too far-fetched if you think about it. If you have a heart attack and 2 years later had another heart attack, this benefit will actually allow you to be paid for a reoccurrence or an additional of an additional critical illness up to 5 times. So again, kind of sad to think that you would use it more than once if you use it at all, but it's just a real feature that really, if you have some serious health problems and they lead to other health problems, you could actually, in this example, it says someone had a $30,000 benefit, they could actually receive coverage up to $150,000. And, you know, if you had a number of these things, isn't to reimburse medical bills or hospital bills necessarily. This is to really help with the indirect expenses that people incur if they have a major illness. And if you or someone in your family or someone that you know has gone through cancer or had heart attacks or strokes or things like that, you understand that it really, you know, quote unquote, rocks your world. It really affects you financially. And a lot of spouses will have to take time off of work to help with you, or other family members might need to go see specialists out of town. There's just a lot of things that happen, bad things financially that happen with a major illness. I always like to say that, you know, it's really good news, the advancement that medicine has made with cancer, for example. Most people today survive cancer, which is amazing. But also, sadly, the majority of people, I think it's maybe 60% really have significant financial issues having gone through it. So that's what the critical illness plan is designed to do, provide a lump sum benefit in the event of a major sickness or a major illness. And as I mentioned in the onset, up to 40 different events or 40 different illnesses. So it's a great program. Check the rates, and I think you'll be interested in it. The other one is the accident insurance plan. This is a lot different than the critical illness. This is more for the, say, onesies and twosies, or the, you know, the ER visit where you had the x-ray and it was $200, or you had the ambulance that took you and it was $400. All the various specific individual things that can all add up. What the accident insurance plan does is it's an indemnity plan, meaning that if something happens, you get paid a specific amount, you get identified for that service. So ambulance, mentioned therapy services, pain management, you know, some type of inpatient or outpatient surgery. So all those different things from accidents specifically, and these are great for young families who have kids that like to have accidents. And it's a great program, and it has a list and covers all those different things. The price on these is very, very modest. I think it's less than $2 a month, if you can believe it, for an individual. You can also include your family members as well. So the accident plan is a different type of supplemental benefit. Again, doesn't coordinate with any of your insurance coverage. It's paid directly to you. So just to give you a little summary, the injuries and the benefits range from as little as 25, you know, you sprain your little finger or something, to a large amount where maybe you literally lose a limb, or you break your back, or something really major, up to $15,000, a specific benefit for the treatment or for what you have to pay for. 12 covered injury types, and then 15 covered medical services and ER visit, like a physician follow-up visit. You got to go back to the doctor. It also has hospital coverage, and again, due to an accident, $1,200 for an admission. So right off the bat, you have an accident, you're hospitalized for a day or two, there's a $1,200 admission, $300 a day, and if it actually happens to the ICU, it's an additional $300 a day. So hospital, lots of people have to go to the hospital, not, but if they do, there's a benefit there too. There's an accidental death benefit benefits if you were to die, and the same thing for dismemberment, which again, it's just sad and hard to talk about, but it happens. And so this plan has a very wide range of benefits. Even if you have to stay overnight or your family does, it has a benefit for up to 15 nights. So lots and lots and lots of different benefits. There's a schedule you can review online or talk to a benefit advocate about. But so that's the accident insurance. Here's a great example. You know, a lot of people are active on weekends and do all sorts of things. This is someone named Bill and had an accident at a baseball game. Maybe he was playing on the weekend in a league. Maybe he, you know, fell over at the Giants game. Who knows what? Or A's game. Better not just say Giants. Anyway, he breaks a femur and has a concussion. That can be pretty serious, and he has to go to the hospital. Now, he has a great health plan. May have some deductibles. May have some co-pays or some co-insurance, but the accident benefit outside of that is going to pay, as you can see, it's up to $300. If he had a concussion, which we said $250, he broke that femur, and it was an open break. That's really $1,000. Crutches, $75. You know, those can really add up, and he might need physical therapy. So these things are designed. They don't coordinate with your medical plan. They're designed to help cover some of the costs because you will have some financial repercussions from an accident. There's an example of it, and the premiums are really affordable. This is a reminder. I'm going to probably mention it several more today. Enrollment starts next Tuesday, July 6th, and it ends on it will come back up. All these benefits will be available again in the fall, but this is a great time to take a break and look at some of the benefits. A couple of the new ones I'm going to talk about. I mentioned this CCS VB, and that's a tool. So you'll see it, and usually time that's convenient for you, where you could speak with one of the benefit advocates at work. My name's Forrest, and I'm interested in this plan. Can you tell me about it? We'll have your birth date. We'll have your information and can walk through all the rates and all the benefits and help you make the decision of what, if any, benefit would be good for you to complement the benefits that the city and county provide outside of that. So, or you, as I mentioned again, go directly to WORKTERRA.net to pick the phone. And that phone line, I believe the scheduling tool is up now, and the telephone line will be live on the 6th next Tuesday. Okay, next benefit is identity theft protection. Last year, we introduced the Allstate plan. It was Allstate purchased a company called Informer, sponsored identity theft protection world, or space as they say. And so it's now from Allstate. Allstate is obviously a big insurance company. It's a benefit, important product to provide. And so we introduced this last year. And, you know, identity theft can cost a lot of money. It adds up to billions of dollars in total, fraud-related identity theft. And so it's something to consider. You want to protect your identity to the best you can. And this program, identity theft can be a major hassle. Not only is it scary, but a lot of people aren't prepared. And a percent of people end up with some debt or end up using to save some money to get out of it and to fix it. So the Allstate plan basically tries to help you with that by providing a lot of different services, and they are very secure, as you can see on this page, and you can get additional coverage. But let me kind of just pause here for a second. A lot of different things are included in this plan. Obviously, if you have identity theft, and they're going to do a lot of the work so that you don't have to. They're going to check in with your credit. They're going to, do a lot of remediation to help fix this problem. They talk to, retailers who may have had an unauthorized purchase. They're going to do a lot to help you. They have a reimbursement for stuff. They have a social account they can monitor, take over. They can help you with a lot of different things. Into obviously credit monitoring is a big part of that. A big part of the things they do is they're monitoring your credit all the time, because a lot of times that's where you're going to see something happen and they will suspicious activity. So they can help you with credit applications, change your address. There's been fraud of any kind, a digital identity report. They can catch synthetic identity fraud, data breaches, all sorts of different things. And so this is a pretty big list. We won't go through it all, but they do a really good job. You have a dedicated case manager, which is one of my favorite parts of their program. Is you call, and then you have one person to call that's going to be available to help you manage the situation. And their care is available 24/7. It's a program. They have one, adds more. You automatically get the credit monitoring, some high risk transaction alerts, but there's some other elements that you can get in the upgraded plan, and the benefit advocate can review all that, or you can look at a little bit more online. But it's a great program. You can include your family members. You can look at the rates and kind of give that some thought. It's a really good plan. The other thing that I want to talk about is a reminder that we have a pet insurance, and it's really sad when things happen to them, and it can be costly. So the Pet's Best to help people with unforeseen pet expenses, because they can be pretty significant. And we want to make sure we do what we can for our pets and how we can help them. And the pet health insurance really is for veterinary services. So it's a veterinary driven type of a program. It does existing does not cover. It's really designed for when you have vet bills. That's the purpose of this plan. It has a wellness plan, which is kind of fun if you think about it for your pet. Pet's Best has been a good provider. We've enjoyed working with them. They've been around since 2005. They have over 200,000 pets insured. They paid over 200 million claims. That's they're get a bill, and then you file a claim and you get reimbursed. That's how it works. It's pretty simple. They have a video, and again, this is all going to be online. They have a video that you can watch that kind of walks you through it, and it's a great program. You have the opportunity to get an accident-only plan, which of course is going to be the cheapest plan, or an accident and illness plan, which will be a little bit more costly. And then you can include pet wellness coverage for a little extra cost to either plan. And that's going to help you make sure that you've always can cover, vaccinations, and blood work if you are going to spray or neuter your pet, heartworm preventative, that kind of thing. And again, on the website, you get them from your benefit. Does this. This is what's covered. This is what's not covered. Make crystal clear. So everyone pays for that bills. Doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. If you have an accident plan, it's not going to cover an illness or wellness if you don't have the wellness covered. So it's pretty simple. Pick and choose. And again, it's not the non-veterinary expenses are not going to be covered. The enrollment is easy. You can talk to the benefit advocate, look online, or go direct to Pet's Best. You get a discount, which is great because the city and county, they don't need medical records. And we have actually an old start date from last year's open enrollment. But plan, people really like it, and we've had good experience with it. Next is the legal plan, and the legal plan is another great program. It actually has identity theft kind of a buy-up or an add-on, which is kind of, so if you enroll in the legal plan, and we'll talk a little bit about how that works, this is a great way to get some identity theft protection at a discount to have added on to that. The Allstate plan is very comprehensive, but this is a great way to get a basic plan at a reduced cost because it's bundled, so to speak. And they have a coronavirus resource center. This is probably from last year, you can imagine, too. They do a great job, and they basically give you the opportunity to have an attorney, where a lot of us don't, necessarily have an attorney on retainer. But this gives you the opportunity to have legal services and to have an attorney represent you in a trial, if you have an IRS audit, traffic related issues, that type of thing. You can have a will done, power of attorney. They'll review documents. They'll write letters and make calls on your behalf. A lot of times that's really important. That's the first step, and sometimes that's all it takes. But you have emergency access and just personal advice on legal issues and calls. It's a really great program to have, and if you did nothing but use it to get a will, it would be well worth the cost of doing it. So that's the plan. It's a great plan. It basically puts a law firm as it's there in the palm of your hand. And you can cover your member, spouse, domestic partner, children with some caveats there, under 18, or if they're in school full time, they can be older, or certainly if they have any disabilities living at home. And that's the ID Shield, which is the add-on that I mentioned. So it still provides some great identity theft protection, credit monitoring, passports, social security monitoring alerts, the dark web, bank accounts, investment accounts, that type of thing. It's web enabled on your mobile phone, which is kind of cool, and really helps you with all the crazy things that are going on out there with people stealing data and trying to hack into your digital life, which we all live by these days. They can help restore that credit, like the Allstate plan, up to $1 million of protection, which is fantastic, and that's really their goal. Same thing, cover yourself, cover your family members, cover your children, and the rates are pretty reasonable. As you can see here, those are per pay period rates, bi-weekly, and you get a discount if you do both. They also have some fun member perks. We're going to be rolling out another discount plan, which I think everyone's going to love during this open enrollment for auto and health coverage, and also some discount plans, but they have some as well, which is great. This is a new program. It's called Lifetime Benefit Term Insurance. And we talked a little bit about the Hartford plan, and it's a supplemental group term life plan. This is a long-range, long-term, really lifetime benefit term insurance plan, and it's somewhat unique. The premiums are guaranteed, unlike the term insurance, and they're also level for your lifetime, which is unlike the term insurance. But you get more death benefit than you would with, say, a whole life plan that has that main feature that the rates never go up and the coverage never goes down over your lifetime. But this plan, in a similar way, but provides higher death benefits because of this feature I'll mention about it steps down at retirement. And the premiums are guaranteed, which is unlike a universal life insurance plan where they can go up and down based on interest rates and all sorts of things. So this plan is kind of a hybrid, you could call it. It's going to provide more protection than whole life, but still have a guaranteed premium, unlike universal life, and that premium is level for life, unlike the term insurance that goes up as you get older. So you could look at this as a long-term policy rather than a temporary one like the term insurance, but more affordable than a whole life plan would be. The death benefits are guaranteed, and this is where they really came up with a great idea to get the premiums lower, and that is that the death benefit that you choose, let's say it's $100,000 of coverage, it's fully guaranteed for 25 years or through age 70, whichever's longer. And then after that, it's guaranteed that it will be at least half. So by having that little step down there on a guaranteed basis, they're able to significantly lower the premiums. And quite frankly, most of us have a reduction in the amount of life insurance that we need when we get older and when we retire. And so it's kind of a unique design, and I think it's really clever. And again, gets us lower premiums, but it does have some buildup over time where you can kind of like a whole life plan, where you can build up paid up insurance. On there is LTC, and this is very unique, and this is one of the reasons that we put this plan in, is because you can use your death benefit prior to your death to supplement the cost of long-term care, which is really kind of unique. And long-term care has become a major issue in our society, and the costs have just skyrocketed. So the way this works is that you have this $100,000 policy, but you get older and you still need the insurance, but all of a sudden now you need to go into a long-term care facility, or you need to have home health care, adult daycare, or all of a sudden you can't do all of the 6 activities of daily living. You can't do 2 or more. Well, then you would trigger this benefit to become available. And what happens is that it begins to pay your life insurance early. And you're able to use your life insurance if it's really needed because of the high cost of long-term care, which is really, really amazing. And here's how it works. What it does, to use our example, is you would begin to receive 4% of the death benefit every month for 25 months. And this plan has an extension of benefits, so you would actually be able to receive another 25 months if you were still alive and still in a home care or assisted living, which actually doubles the amount of life insurance, which is pretty amazing. And then as you're going along and you're drawing it down, and if you were to die, then your benefit would be reduced, but it wouldn't have been taken away, or you wouldn't have lost it. You would have just used it early. Well, you needed it to help pay those expensive assisted living or home health care bills. And of course, while you're having it paid out, you don't have to pay premiums anymore, which is a nice feature. So using our example again, $100,000, you became confined to a nursing or needed adult daycare, and all of a sudden you said, gosh, we need help, and we had this lifetime benefit term plan. Well, you would be able to start drawing that down. So in the first month, you draw down $4,000. If you died, you'd still have $96,000. So you're just using it early, and that's how it works. And it's just a great program, because long-term care insurance has become very expensive. And a lot of times people don't think about it until they're older, and then it's really expensive. And so this is a great life insurance plan to provide life insurance that will have guaranteed premiums that will never go up, even though it will step down when you probably need it less on a guaranteed basis. And then if you do need some assistance, you can start drawing it down. So we think this is a wonderful product. It's an individually owned product. You keep it forever, take it with you if you leave. It doesn't make any difference whether you're working at the city and county or anymore or not. And it's guarantee issue, believe to 100,000. Guarantee issue, no questions asked, no health questions asked. And so it's a pretty amazing opportunity. It's a pretty amazing product. Again, all these programs are voluntary. That's why they call them voluntary benefits. And they can be more explained individually, or you can get more information online, but they're just great ways to provide additional protection and coverage for you and your family outside of the basics. And the basics are more than covered with the city and county health plan. It's a wonderful plan, but there's costs and indirect expenses when you get, hurt and stuff like that, or certainly if you were to pass away and die. The paid up benefits are kind of nice. This is kind of the feature that's a little bit like the whole life plan in that it's not guaranteed. But if interest rates a certain amount and expenses are managed, whatever, you could build up. It could actually have it become completely paid up. Half of that benefit, as we mentioned, at age 70 or older. And so it's not guaranteed, but it is kind of like the dividends with the whole life plan, or they call some of the whole positive, where interest rates are higher, you build up more cash value. And this isn't a cash value, and that's not the idea at all. But it does have paid up benefits over time, the longer you're in it, which could help you. But again, stressing the guarantees, guaranteed benefits, guarantee issue coverage, you can qualify without health questions, and then that long-term care benefit that you can use your death benefit early when you could really need it if you were facing those long-term care bills. So I just kind of read my summary page just then in advance. But again, the portability is important. You can continue it even if you left the city and county, or someday down the road they decide they don't want it offered anymore. Once you have yours, you own it. It can go all the way out to you're 100 years old. Premiums are never going to go up, and it's great. It's a great plan to check out. So just as a reminder, we're getting close to time, but this mid-year special open enrollment starts next Tuesday, July 6th. It runs through July 16th. And if you want to schedule a benefits on individual basis, CFVOE, want to during the enrollment period, or just pick up the phone starting next Tuesday on this. Or if you've thought about it, you've looked at some information on the website, the San Francisco Health Services System website, then you could just go right on to WORKTERRA.net. Sorry, been talking for almost an hour. And so WORKTERRA.net is not a new website. That's the enrollment website that's been there. And once again, lastly, the credentials are your username is your DSW number. Put a 0 in front if it's a 5-digit number, and password, first 4 letters of your last name and first 4 of your social security. Company name is CCSF. So that's the information. This was just an overview, just to remind everybody of the benefits. sfhss.org is where you go, click on your work area, and your benefit guide will come up, and you can go to voluntary benefits and all. Last thing, that we haven't built a slide yet for the webinars, but it's coming, and it will be available next week when the enrollment period starts, is an auto insurance quoting and policy that you can get, and it's like a quoting service. So we thought about WORKTERRA, and the city and county thought about, well, let's have an auto or a home company on there. Well, unfortunately, many times you have as many negatives as positive, because for some people that company is a great deal. Other people, it's not really their thing to insure, say, motorcycles or something. So we contracted with a firm called Benefit Hub, and they have multiple insurance carriers so that they can help you find perhaps a policy that's best for you and a discount, and you might be able to save some money, and then they'll set that all up for you. So that'll be on a new site that's coming next week. They will also have some discount plans, kind of like the Legal Shield does, where it's just got some perks and some benefits. Some of them are pretty significant. You can check them on your mobile phone when you're out shopping. So that'll be pretty fun. Information will be coming out on that here real soon. So I'm going to escape back here and stop the sharing here, and just thank you for your time and your attention, and really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, as I mentioned, there's the phone number and the scheduling tool, and you can always go on to the SFHSS website. So thank you all very much for attending, and hopefully you'll be able to call in next week or go online, schedule a session, and learn more. and see how it all could work for you. And the programs, as I mentioned, are voluntary, but they're really inexpensive and really do a good job of enhancing and complementing what the city and county already provide. So thank you very much. Have a great evening, and be safe.